Hello everyone, and welcome to my frame-by-frame analysis of Morbius. I'm John Wilkes Booth. 1.19 was released on June 7th, but I know some people who are still hesitant to explore the new Deep Dark biome because the Warden is too dangerous. Spoiler alert, it's not. If you know what you're doing, it's actually rather easy. So before you're even going to search for an ancient city, you're going to need some things. An Elytra, some decent armor, an infinity bow, preferably with power and unbreaking, some arrows, about a shoulder of fireworks, some high saturation food, so golden carrots, cooked pork chops, or steak. You'll want some golden apples, and a bunch of totems of undying. Also make sure to set your Elytra or chest plate to a hotbar slot, so if you need to swap it quickly, you can hover over your chest armor slot and hit a hotkey to instantly swap. If you want, you can also bring wool, some enchanted apples, beacons, and the necessary blocks to use them, and potions. If you're bringing potions, I'd bring instant health 2, night vision, speed, and strength if for some reason you're using a sword to fight the Warden. You definitely don't want to fight the Warden in the open. It's a terrible strategy, you're almost definitely going to die. The Warden's melee attack does about half health with full Prot 4 netherite armor, and its sonic boom has a 15 block range and does about 7.5 hearts regardless of armor. It also gives the darkness effect, which, especially without night vision, could seriously hurt your navigation. As for finding an ancient city, you're really just going to have to find some surface-exposed caves and dive down into them. It should be noted that Deep Dark and Ancient Cities are very different. Ancient Cities always means Deep Dark doesn't always mean Ancient Cities. The Deep Dark features Skulk blocks, Skulk Shriekers, Skulk Veins, Skulk Catalysts, and Skulk Sensors. All of these blocks appear around the natural formations of caves, whereas Ancient Cities feature all of those blocks as well as cobbled and brick deep slate structures with wool and wood in some areas. But before we talk strategies, we're going to need to see how bad a poorly done Warden fight can be. A pretty simple strategy is to lure the Warden into a hole and then attack it as much as possible. Then when it uses its sonic boom, you recover with a gavel and continue the cycle. The issue is if you don't have enough saturation or you mess up your loop, you might end up getting hit before you can recover. If you have a few totems, you'll probably be fine anyway, but it's definitely risky. Even if you use a bow, it's still hard to set up a little hole in the ground with some trapdoors in the middle of a Warden fight. I did win though. Another strategy I've seen is people who run around the central portal structure and just try to tank as many hits as possible. The thing is, you have to run, so if you stop to eat, you might end up getting attacked, which could end in you fumbling and getting comboed to death by the Warden. Or you could get stuck in a wall and get comboed. It's absolutely possible to beat the Warden like this, but it's a bit too hard to pull off and you'll probably end up dying like me. After using my method, I decided to get all of the loot from the city as well as totems, armor, and tools, so mainly just a reasonable amount of gapples, and fight the Warden in a random spot in the city. I started the fight by eating an enchanted apple, then I tried to just run around and tank hits till I fell into a lava pool. I had fire res from the gapples, so I managed to get out, but in order to attack the Warden more, I had to go back in. And at that point I was basically just tanking hits, living off totems, and waiting to die. And obviously I did. But here's my actual strategy for fighting it if you don't want to die. You're going to want to make sure that you're sneaking and have high saturation most of the time. Then dig a tunnel right into the center of the city on top of the portal structure, so if things get bad, you can fly out. Then look for chests. They generally spawn in small structures off to the side of the main city paths and contain some colossal loot. A new disc, other side discs, a new enchant, and of course enchanted golden apples. As well as some good enchanted gear and echo shards for making the recovery compass. Now, to loot these chests, you aren't just going to open them. You're going to make sure you've broken any shriekers on top of the portal structure at the center of the city. Then, if there's multiple shriekers at your chest, break as many as you can in one go before you see the Warden Emerges subtitle. And if it spawns a Warden, you need to swap on your Elytra and go to the middle portal structure before the Warden or the Shrieker gives you the darkness effect. You really do not want darkness in the middle of an ancient city. Then once you're on top, it should give it to you. Then you can wait it out and just snipe the Warden with your bow until it dies. Then repeat till all of the Shriekers in that area are gone. Then you can safely loot the chest, but in an emergency situation, maybe you fumble swapping your Elytra or you're out of fireworks, what I would do is just fly blindly, but try to stay relatively high till you crash into a wall. The health loss doesn't really matter. You'd rather take a little bit of kinetic damage than get hit by the Warden and die. And then you need to tower up and dig into the ceiling, and then dig towards the Warden, then make a little spiral bridge down where you can see into the city. Then once you've done that, you can just fire arrows, the sound will grab his attention, which will run towards your opening, and then you can just keep spamming arrows until he dies. Now, if you're out of fireworks, your best option is just to tower up right there. If the Warden hits you with its sonic boom attack and knocks you off, I'd recommend running onto the wold pass. The Warden might not be quite as aggressive if you aren't making more noise. Also, if you need to run, a speed potion will help. If you don't want to risk spawning more, you can just dig a 2-tall tunnel into the nearest wall, tanking hits with gapples until the Warden stops hitting you. Same thing if you don't know where the Warden is, or if it's in a spot where it can hit you with its sonic boom, but you can't hit it at all. Just tank hits till you can get away. And once you've fully raided the city, you can just use your escape tunnel to get the fuck out of there.